Tell me, how did you find Living Waters? There are a couple ex-gay programs in the LA area, so how did you end up at that one?
A friend of mine had gone through the program. He had good things to say about it. He was somebody who was like me. Actually, he was Filipino also, but he identified as someone who has same-sex attractions, and he's married too right now. In fact, both of them were leaders at some point in the program. So with their recommendation, I enrolled into the Living Waters program.
Can you tell me a little bit about the circumstances under which you left the Living Waters program? Did you consider yourself a success and that's why you graduated and moved on with your life?
I finished the program. So when I say I left the program, I graduated. I had the option of going through it a second time, but I feel like I was a success in the sense that I knew the tools that they suggested and taught to me, and I felt like I could move on using those tools. I felt like I could suppress my homosexuality and my same-sex attractions using their tools. So while I still agreed and subscribed to their belief systems about it being gay, I felt like I was a success because now I had an opportunity to apply it.
What impression of gays and lesbians did you have growing up, and do you think that affected your decision to go into an ex-gay program?
When I was growing up, I thought gays and lesbians were people who had sex all the time with anybody. They had no boundaries, they had no morals. And I thought that being gay meant all of those things that I was doing in the closet. I thought that being gay was being promiscuous. I thought that being gay was not having any boundaries. And so, yes, that perspective, those assumptions had a lot to do with me going into the ex-gay program because I didn't want to be like that.
Now, you went to the recent ex-gay survivors conference, and now, of course, you're speaking out, telling your own story. What has motivated all these recent developments for you?
I realized that if I could find reconciliation for my faith and my sexuality, then I could help others do the same. The only thing, what I hope to accomplish in telling my story is showing people that they're not alone, because I know what it's like to feel alone. There are other people in this world who are just like me or similar. And I just want to say that we don't have to live in our closets. We can live as gay people with a vibrant spirituality.
When you graduated, you were told not to remain in contact with your fellow graduates. Did you stick to that? You're now, looking back years later, have you stuck to that, or what has become of that?
I have not been in contact with any of the people that I was in contact with during the Living Waters program. I did stick to the rule. In fact, there was no means to, because we couldn't exchange phone numbers, emails, anything like that. So I have not been in contact with anybody else in the program.
And no one has found you through your weblog or anything?
Actually, my group leader did.
What's your group leader doing now?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't have to give their name, but...
I don't know what the group leader's doing, but in my blog, I wrote about my story. I didn't mention him, but he found it somehow and made a comment, and he wanted to clarify his perspective that it wasn't about being straight, that the program isn't about being straight, but the program is about embracing our true identity in Christ. I just think that I am embracing my true identity in Christ. That's what we disagree on.
Now, you come from a Catholic background, and it seems like Catholics are more drawn towards celibacy as an acceptable option. Did you ever consider that? Did that ever cross your mind at any point? Just simply realizing that you had same-sex attractions and you would just live a life of celibacy.
For me, I didn't consider celibacy as... See, I see celibacy differently. I feel like celibacy is a calling. I would say that maybe I abstained from sexual contact, but it wasn't because I wanted to be. It wasn't because I felt like that was my only option. I was just going through this cycle of guilt. I didn't want to go through the guilt. That's why I was abstaining. But in terms of celibacy, I did consider it when I first started my journey, as I was exploring the side A and the side B perspectives. I considered celibacy, but I had to ask myself the question, if God is calling me to celibacy, is he calling all gay people to celibacy? And I found it difficult to say, yes, God is calling all people to celibacy. And so if he's not calling all gay people to celibacy, then why should I? Because I sincerely didn't feel like I was being called to celibacy.
Did you ever attempt a heterosexual romantic relationship, either before you entered the program or during, or when you still believed you could change?
I dated a couple times, but nothing ever panned out into a full-on relationship. I knew that I was gay.
Did you date women in the program?
No, I didn't date any women in the program because they were either married to their formerly gay participants, or they were not so attractive. But keep in mind, I'm saying that as a gay person, okay? What can I do? I mean, it's not personal. I don't know. My name is Eric Leocadio, and my website is twoworldcollision.blogspot.com.